G'day guys, it's Tim here. So for the video today we're talking all things gaming and what gaming is like in Finland. It's a bit of a different topic to my previous videos, but gaming is definitely a big deal in Finland. It's a significant part of the culture, and I've also got a pretty keen interest in it as well. So I wanted to share what I've kind of observed and learnt about the gaming culture in Finland. This month I was lucky enough to spend some time in one of the primary schools here in Turku, and just chatting with a lot of the kids there. They all have a real keen interest in gaming. So shout out to those guys. That's one of the other reasons I wanted to make this video. A quick note, today's video is sponsored by code MUMMELTIM. Make sure you use code MUMMELTIM in the Fortnite item shop or when you're buying any games from the Epic Games store. Of course, I'm not actually being sponsored, but true story, that code will work. So it'd help the channel out greatly if you use that one, MUMMELTIM, same as the channel. But anyway, gaming. So yeah, gaming's a big deal in Finland. It's really popular for people to play games, watch them online, and a number of people are quite competitive as well. I couldn't find specific numbers about how many gamers there actually are in Finland, but I imagine it would be huge. Mobile gaming is of course probably the biggest, and it's popular with people of all ages, and males and females as well, and right down to really young kids. We all know about the digital natives that kids growing up nowadays are totally comfortable and natural with all things technology. And that's a big factor in why gaming is so big. So like I was saying earlier, this month I had the chance to be in one of the primary schools here in Turku, and it was pretty crazy to see how keen a lot of the students were about gaming. Everyone had their iPads for school, but of course in the break and stuff there was plenty of kids playing Minecraft on their iPads there and trying to sneak a few games in on their phone as well, even though I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to be allowed. And even as part of the classroom, one class that I got to sat in on was doing a project in Minecraft on their iPads, trying to make a zoo, and it was really quite impressive all that they were doing. I don't think that kind of gaming is a waste of time like many people might suggest, but you could really see how it was getting their creativity going, and they were thinking about how they can make things work together. But it's not just the mobile games that everyone's playing as well. Of course, PC gaming and console gaming is a huge deal. I was chatting with lots of the kids about what some of their favorite games are, and they were telling me how they often always play games together. They have their own Discord servers going, and they like to play lots of online games, playing Fortnite together or PUBG, even a bit of COD or Minecraft like I said, or probably even some of the kids were talking about GTA, Grand Theft Auto. Some of the other kids I chatted with too shared a few games in common with me. I'm a bit of a Nintendo fanboy, and the Legend of Zelda series is probably my favorite. And a few of the kids were really into that as well. Some of them had their Switches and loved a bit of Breath of the Wild on that, like me. That's another game that I've really liked seeing how people play it, because you really see a bunch of creativity in that, just with how open the world is and all the physics that's involved in the game. I reckon one of the other cool things about gaming in Finland is just the opportunity that it gives you to learn English. I guess that's true in all countries where English isn't the native language. I met a guy the other day in Finland who is actually from Greece, and he said that he learned how to speak English by playing Dota online with friends. So there's plenty of advantages that can come with gaming. But yeah, gaming is a particularly popular hobby here in Finland, and my theory as to why that is, part of it is probably because of how long the winters are. So people have got plenty of time to be inside and making the most of the video games that they have. Another factor that I think comes into it though is just kind of how technologically adapted a lot of Finns are. Finland is definitely like one of the world leaders in the tech sector. Yeah, even through school, kids learn how to use technology really well. It's been implemented for the last few years, and I think that as well just lends itself to many more people taking up gaming as a hobby. Oh, gee, it is getting a bit warm now. And so for some people, gaming is not even just a hobby, but there's a number of Finns that have made gaming their full-time job in competitive esports or by being YouTubers. Finland is pretty highly representative in the esports field, and I saw the other day that 2 out of the top 5 highest earning esports players are actually Finnish, both of those being Dota players. It's insane how much money gets won in those competitions. That was these two guys, Jerax and Dobson. I think they'd each won more than $1 million. So it's pretty crazy how much money there is in it. Another famous gaming Finn is Seral, who's the number one or two StarCraft player in the world. And he's also won plenty of money off that. But Finland has some representative players in PUBG, I think, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Rocket League as well, of course Fortnite. And then of course Finland is pretty good at CSGO, Counter-Strike, another one of those first-person shooter games where the famous ENCE team was competing. And if you know anything about Counter-Strike, ENCE had one of the greatest underdog stories a couple of years ago. They made a few good documentaries about that one. And apart from esports, some of the most popular Finnish YouTube channels are gaming related as well, including the most subscribed, only Finnish speaking YouTuber, Lakko, who plays a lot of video games as well and has made quite the career out of that. Lakko was certainly popular amongst a lot of the students at school as well. But it's not just on the gaming front itself that Finland really impresses either, but actually in the gaming industry as a whole. You might not know it, but you've probably pretty likely played some games that were developed by a Finnish studio. Particularly some of the biggest mobile games out there come from Finland. So Clash of Clans, the huge behemoth of a game, comes from Finland. It's made by Supercell, a Finnish company, and they've also had quite a number of other major successes. One I think like Heyday or something, and another one, Brawl Stars. Supercell has certainly made a big bet. And then also the other huge one is Angry Birds. It's kind of gone down a bit in the last few years, but I can remember when Dad got an iPhone and we were on the edge of like the new gaming smartphone revolution, and playing Angry Birds on that, I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's a fairly simple game, but having that on a phone was cool. Or I can also remember as a kid playing this one game, Hill Climb Racing at school. And I just found out the other day that that is Finnish as well. I have some good memories in grade 9 trying to compete with my friends about who was the best in that game. Some of the other popular games from Finland are like the games from this publisher called Remedy. So if you're a gamer, you might know Alan Wake series is from Finland. Also the Max Payne series. They also made like Quantum Break, and probably one of the coolest little indie Finnish games out there is one called My Summer Car. It's a pretty funny game. You're kind of just like supposed to basically work on, be a mechanic for this car, do it from scratch. But apart from that, it's basically like Finland Simulator. I'll for sure have to play that one sometime soon and show you guys what it's like. I think the fact that gaming is such a popular hobby is one of the reasons why the game development industry is so big. But also, again, I think it's that tech adoption rate. A lot of Finns have a really good idea about how technology works, and that makes it easier when it comes to developing games. Finland's got a pretty well advanced tech industry. If you're a bit of a PC nerd, you've probably heard of Linux, which is like a computer operating software. I think it's the third most popular after, of course, Windows and Mac, but it's like an open software that plenty of people use. And Linux came straight out of Finland. Probably the perception around gaming as well isn't as negative as some other countries, like even my home country, Australia. Gaming is still a little bit looked down on, and it's kind of taken as a little bit of a joke in kind of the broader entertainment industry. Whereas compare that with Finland, and even actually the government gets behind the games industry a lot and supports a lot of projects there. It's probably better than how it is in the US as well. Even though the games industry is obviously huge there, it's still kind of seen as pretty niche. But yeah, like I've had a lot of fun learning about some of these Finnish games, trying them out for myself. I'll probably have to record myself playing a few and put them up on the channel. And I'm planning to even start maybe doing a couple of live streams here and there, so make sure you're subscribed for that. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments as well, what games do you play, if you play any? What do you think about gaming? And hey, sorry, I know it's been a little while since my last video, but of course, being in lockdown, in quarantine right now, I've got a bit of extra time to work on those. And I've actually recorded a few that are ready to come out. The next video is about learning Finnish again. And I did a challenge a couple of weeks ago about how much I could learn in just 7 days of study. That's the next video coming out. So make sure you're subscribed to see that one. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, I wonder if I got any tan. Probably not. I better look super white.